Hello everybody. I recently ordered these Christmas Workshop fairy lights and I got them on eBay and the listings appeared to be the incandescent ones, which is what I wanted, but they had sent me these LED ones. And my plan was to compare the multicolored Christmas Workshop ones to the multicolored Alderbrook ones from NOMA, which is still currently in production, which is great. And Christmas Workshop and NOMA seem to be the last few companies that are doing incandescent string lights. I thought I'd just do a video about these anyway. I'm going to return them because just looking at the photo, I hate these. I try to avoid saying hate, but I really do not like these. I'm one of those people who cannot stand LED lighting when it's really garish. I do think there are benefits to LED lighting, such as less power consumption, it's more effective than incandescent lights. But when it comes to string lights in particular, I really do not like the look of them. Some warm white ones can look really good, and I've discovered that the name vintage gold is way more pleasing to the eye than warm white ones, because sometimes warm white ones are, to me, look cool white, and that's the other thing. I hate the cool white LED string lights. But yeah, the multicolored ones I think are probably the worst. Like, no offense if you have them and you like them, we can like different things. I'm not really gonna judge you on it, especially because in the UK it seems to be all you can find these days. So I am kind of on this mission now to find the best LED string lights that look like incandescent ones. As you can see, like, this is the kind of style of incandescent ones, and it appears that they are trying to imitate that with these LED ones. But also in this video, I thought I would just compare this with the NOMA ones, which I actually really like, and I've got quite a few sets of these around the house. And then I've also got this warm white one, which I could compare to that too. So, and then I'll compare these two together. So let's see the multicolored ones first. I'm going to open it very carefully because I am going to return it, and I don't, want to keep it in sellable condition. Okay. So first off, something that I've got to say is quite good about these is the caps are coloured. That's something that I've noticed, especially the larger bulb LED string lights, like ones that look like larger bulbs. The actual LED diode bulb thing underneath is the colour of the cover or cap, which is what contributes to that like really garish LED colouring. But yeah, let's see how this is. Brace yourselves. Yeah, absolutely hate it. It's just not nice at all. Like, let's see if I can get the colouring to show up. I mean, the green is looking quite minty on camera, maybe because of all the blues drowning it out. It's more of like a, I don't know names of colours, maybe Kelly green, I have no idea. The blue is that typical garish LED blue. I hate it. The yellow is okay. The red, again, it's that LED red, garish red. I think the yellow is the only decent one here, and it's probably because that actually probably is a white LED under a yellow cap, as opposed to these. I can tell these are red under red, blue under blue. This one, I would assume green under green. And if I just turn this light off, like, another issue with LED lights is the way that they're so like directional. They don't like give off a glow like incandescent lights. They're so directional. But yeah, even with that light off, you can just see how yucky that is. So let's compare it with the NOMA ones. Oh, and in case you wanted to look at the box, I know some people like to see what's on the box. Here's the front, which I think we've already seen. Here is the bottom, and then the back. I really like that they've got this. I think this is super handy, and I think this should be like a standard for any string lights. I'm seeing it more and more on boxes, but I think they need to be on website descriptions as well. But also something that is missing here is the width between the bulbs. I mean, you can kind of work it out. 3.9 divided by, you do 39. So that would be 10 centimeters between each. But yeah, I just think it's really handy to have all that information because it does kind of make a difference depending on your usage of the lights, whether you want it like around a doorway or on a tree. You might want more or less in the string, you know? So let's compare it with these ones. Here's the back in case you want to look at it. And the bottom. So I've already got them out of the box. Also, just one difference about these, because like the only thing that was in here was, I don't think it was there an instruction booklet? I don't think there was. Oh yeah, just this. And I'll show you this as well. And here's the back. It's quite a huge label. I don't think I've ever seen a label this big on a string of lights, especially 2 labels. The difference between these is they've got this casing, which to be honest I think is kind of unnecessary. It would be fine if it was just printed on here. And then it also has a little thing of instructions. And then here's the back. And then it also has this in it, which is kind of nice. And nothing on the back. So I'd already taken the lights out of the box. So here they are. Let's turn these off for a second. So already you can see that I mean, am I being biased? I think maybe it's fine to be biased here. Already you can see that, like, if you look at the blue and the green together, let's zoom you all in. Like, this is a much darker blue and green compared to these. And I think they've come to that conclusion because they know that having a warm light under darker ones just give a much warmer, cozier glow rather than colored LEDs under like very standard colored covers. And then let's compare some more. So these NOMA ones have orange. Well, I thought it was yellow and orange, but having done a comparison with the incandescent ones, I think this is actually orange, not yellow, and this is supposed to be more comparable to the red. But to me, on my eyes, this just looks like a dark orange. This looks like a lighter orange. But yeah, if we were going to compare the red and yellow here with what I'm calling the dark orange and the light orange, that's how those look. So now let's turn them on. So even with like just looking at them, I think you can kind of see on the screen that these ones are super bright and garish. These ones are not as bright and garish. Like this just looks like a big glow, whereas this is like much more cozy. Let's compare it with the incandescent ones. So let's pop the light on again. So here's how these look. sorry, it's kind of all tangled up, but like a difference between these LED ones and these ones is these are like one whole string with a bulb at the end, whereas these incandescent ones is like a loop. So there isn't an end, it just starts on one side, ends on the other side. And I believe that was quite common with incandescent lights, at least in the UK, maybe. I'm not an expert, but I'm learning. And yeah, so there wasn't really an end, and I guess you could kind of like have them like this and kind of twist the wire yourself. But yeah, I just thought I'd mention that as well. But let's just compare with it off what a red looks like compared to this red. So there we go. This one's much darker. Let's zoom in a bit. Much darker, much lighter. Then the yellow, like here it looks orange compared to that, but when it's on, I think it looks yellowy. And then blue. And then green. Okay, let's compare. Okay, so let's zoom out for a sec. So like these look very similar to this. Like this looks completely different no matter where I place it amongst all of these. Like this looks so different to the others. So if you were considering these, honestly, I would suggest just getting this. I think this is much nicer. I've done a separate video comparing these to incandescent, like side by side, and yeah, so go watch that if you're interested. But focusing more on these, like if you compare the blue, let's turn the light off. Like, oh, just look how garish that is compared to that. Let's just remove this for a second. So damn. So this is a much cozier, warmer blue. I feel like it looks a lot better in person. And the green, again, much warmer and cozier. It's just so garish, and it looks kind of minty here, but in person it's just like lighter than that one. And then the yellow. Actually, no, I was wrong. This does look like orange. I said a second ago that this looks yellow when it's lit. It does look orange when it's lit. And there's a yellow there. And then the red. And what's interesting as well, like I was saying, it's very directional. If I just zoom you out. So look at that, the way it just shines straight forward. But then with these, I mean, can't really, let's see if I can just arrange it in a way to compare that. I mean, ignoring the white one, but like, see how it doesn't really do that? And when it does, it gives a warmer glow. And in case you're thinking, oh, well, there's more of a mix of colors, like if I do that, like, look at that. Like, it's not giving the same warm glow. Okay, now let's compare the warm white ones. So let's pop these back. Yeah, it's a shame because I wanted to get warm white incandescent so I could compare them to these, but yeah, of course these are just LED ones. So, but let's just compare them to these anyway. Ooh. I don't know. I I don't know, just looking at them here, I don't like the look of them. And then if we open these ones up, I don't know, maybe these kind of look the same. So again, you got this card and instructions. There's obviously a lot more here, so the way it gives off light will look different. One thing that I will just say about this is I feel like these give off a really nice warm white, and yeah, I wish I had some incandescent ones to compare to show you. But let's just turn them on just so you can see. So as you can see, they do give off like a nice warm glow. You can kind of see it on there. I personally don't think that this is going to be as nice as incandescent, but you can see kind of like how warm that is. And I feel like, yeah, typical LED string lights are much too cool for me. But yeah, let's see how these are. Yeah, too white. Way too white. So like you can kind of see the warmness. It's showing up as like yellowish on camera, but this is like a warmy kind of color. But this kind of does look how it looks on camera, like it is much cooler white. It's not cool white. I'm not getting blueness really, but it is not giving the warmth that this is. So yeah, I think they're not too bad, but like I wouldn't want these in a room that I was going to spend a lot of time in. Like I wouldn't want these on a tree. I'd probably, if I were to have these, I'd probably maybe want them around a doorway in a hallway or something, or maybe outside. Are they suitable for outside? Indoor and outdoor use, yeah. And even if you just look at the photo here, like this actually looks quite warm, but this looks more like how these look. You can see it with the light on. This is warmer than that. So yeah, unless you're into like much cooler whites, then this will be fine, but I would say the NOMA ones are much nicer. Actually, one more thing before I pack these away, I also got these to compare with a version that doesn't have this texture on it, but that version hasn't arrived yet, and I'm going to send this sooner than later. So I figured, why don't I just compare these two right now just to see what the coloring is like, just to show you about these. So these are, so we got 40 here, 150 here, and this was 120, but the bulb spacing on this and this I believe is about 10 centimeters for both of them, but this one, the bulb spacing is a lot less. I think it's like 2 centimeters or 3 or something. I've never seen, at least in person, bulbs that have this sort of like diamond kind of texture on it. Let's zoom you in. Maybe that has existed for incandescent bulbs. I'm not sure, but I just thought these were really unique, and I thought I'd give them a try. I'll just show you the box, and then here's the back. So yeah, can't really see. And then inside we've got these. Oh, we've got 2 sets of instructions. We've got these ones. And then here. And yeah, something I noticed about Premier Decorations, they seem to be one of the biggest Christmas decoration brands in the UK. And in the one that isn't diamond, hasn't got this diamond pattern, they've got them in warm white, multicolored, and then another version of multicolor. But from the photos, they look terrible. Like they're clear caps with multicolored LEDs inside them, which is absolutely not what I want. So I didn't even bother buying them to compare. But I thought I would also get these just to see how they look and see how they kind of distribute the light. But I'll do a much more in-depth comparison or like review of these compared to the plain version. But yeah, I'm just waiting for that to arrive. Let's see how this is. So this is much too cool for my liking. And then let's compare with this. Yeah, it's pretty much the same shade. It literally is the same shade. Yeah, I mean, the bulb is really interesting though. Yeah, I think I could only tolerate this outside. Let's just see this function thing. Okay. Sometimes these function things are good, but sometimes they're terrible. There's always one that like blinds my eyes. Yeah, this one. Not a fan of that at all. And these fade ones, sometimes it's like not like a smooth fade. This is actually very smooth, which is good. Interesting. I've not, you know what? These days, I feel like with LED lights, when they have different functions like this, the button is on the plug itself. And I haven't seen a set which has like a controller separate from the plug in a long time. So that's really interesting. Ooh, don't like that. So that's static on. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Sorry, just going through them all again. So, yeah, I think that concludes the video. I would not recommend these unless, I don't know, it was on like a really good deal and you only wanted it outside or something. I just think the NOMA ones are way better. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.